Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday Recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And as always, we'll start with EVE Online, where I spent a little bit less than average time in the last week or so. I think it's mostly because I started the week with a decent amount of energy and I did some decently intense exploration sessions, and good drops came off that, and as a result I tend to have the reflex to assume that basically having that good income uses up my luck, and there's a little need to keep pushing the envelope when it comes to my exploration activities. At that point, you know, get a couple nice 3 and 4 out of 10s, see 120 million drop, and then you're like, okay, that definitely makes up for a couple of days if I want to take it easy. And so that's what I ended up doing. Now, outside of the game, of course, quite a bit happened as well, with the announcement of the Sino change, I think being the biggest chaos announcement to date, and yeah, very controversial, quite a bit of discussion, people that are really happy, people that are very angry, and for me, well, it doesn't really impact my high-sec Care Bear playstyle, so I'm on the fence here. I do think that it's very restrictive, just having the recon, the force recons and the covered ops battleships be able to use the regular Sinos. But on the other hand, what I still do every single day, of course, in EVE Online is keep up with my PI, keep up with my blueprint copy business, and right now undock, find an anomaly, kill some rats and get some skill points. So I think for the alts of jump freighter pilots that this is a very nice solution. If they've kept up with that, they should have quite a few skill points ready to get everything that they need in order to keep going with their jump freighter activities, but then through a covert Sino rather than the regular Sino in a rookie ship. So all of these changes are only coming in September. I think there's still time for most people to get ready on that, and it is pretty exciting to see what that's going to do for the game. Next up, we also have a little bit of chaos in high-sec actually, where the Triglavian patrols that are now roaming outside of the invasion systems have apparently been catching some people unawares. Even in Orcas, where they've been AFK mining, they come back to their seat and they find that the Triglavian patrols have actually destroyed their ship. So that is pretty interesting, and I think it is part of what CCP wants to do for the game. It is to give value back to actual activity in the game. Anything that's automated is going to become more risky, and so I think that is pretty damn awesome. Make those Triglavian patrols aggressive, go hunt for the people that are AFK potentially botting out there. You don't want them to just have all of that passive income. EVE Online is a game, is a sandbox game, and so actual human activity should be what creates value in the game. And so yeah, them being able to take on an AFK Orca is pretty damn cool in my opinion, and I will definitely be looking for them as well. I haven't spotted them or found any of them, I haven't really gone looking either, but my idea here is to use my passive shield tank Praxis just to prod at them to see if they're doable in that ship, and otherwise perhaps to try and create some good platforms to hunt those Triglavian patrols outside of the invasion systems. If you have any tips on where you're most likely to find them, is it just a couple jumps outside of an invasion system, or can you basically come across them anywhere in high-sec? I would love to know, because that's definitely something that I want to do in EVE Online as well. But with less time than average spent in EVE Online, what else have I been doing? Well, I've been a little bit addicted to X4 Foundations. I bought the game at full price. There was something I still needed to do before Classic, World of Warcraft Classic comes out, and I chose X4 Foundations. The reviews on Steam were mixed to bad, but my brother has been playing that a little bit as well, and he says that it's come along quite nicely, and that it's actually a pretty cool game for people that like that sort of games. It's not really a story-driven game, it's more another empire building game if you like, and I am at this point very impressed with X4 Foundations, especially on the technical front. I mean, it's been out for what, 10 months or so, I think, and it seems pretty stable. I haven't experienced any crashes or anything like that. I did have one load problem where I ended up underneath a station floor, but other than that, honestly, it's been working surprisingly well, and I'm having fun just building up in X4 Foundations at this point. It took me a little bit of time to find a way to get my economy jump started, but yeah, eventually I found crystal mining, which is actually pretty easy, and with a little bit of luck can be insane income. And as a result, I then of course did what I always do in X games or in these kinds of games, build up a very strong economic foundation. So I started with like a dozen mining ships that would just passively mine ore and sell it to NPC stations. Then a couple, like a dozen trade ships as well. A bit harder to get to because you need better pilots for those, but eventually we found a way to get that rolling as well. And at this point, I am starting to build my first few stations. I don't need to go out there and crystal mine anymore for credits in order to keep up and try to build up the blueprints and things like that for the station. So I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I'm having a lot of fun just building up there, and my hope is that eventually I'll be able to build up a nice military fleet as well and go after the Xenon, which I've been infesting some of the systems nearby. It is not for everyone, I will definitely agree with that, but the transition from being able to just stand there on a station platform in first-person view, step in your ship, sit in your cockpit, undock, go out there in space, do whatever you want, and then to see everything that's happening in the game actually happen on the map as well. You can go anywhere, you can dock on any station, you can dock on some of the larger ships as well. You can then go to the bridge, watch it fly around, get back out there. It's really amazing in my opinion, and from the technical standpoint, quite an achievement in my opinion. So as I've said, not for everyone. If you're not sure about enjoying an X-type game, I would wait for a discount, but my first impressions here are that this is a really fun game. And then of course you don't have the EVE style combat, but you actually have visceral combat against enemies that are also fast. You need to maneuver. I actually play with a joystick when I'm out in space, and that just gives that added layer of engagement. It is a lot of fun, although of course I still have a lot to discover in the game as well, but I've been addicted to it and I've been spending quite a bit of time in X4 Foundations, not regretting that at all. This game is definitely gonna tie me over until World of Warcraft Classic, which I'll just mention here again. I am going to give that a try. It's gonna be something completely different. Back in the day, 15 years ago, when World of Warcraft first came out, I was much younger, much more inexperienced. I had no clue as to what an MMO was, and so I was one of those safe human players that played something like a rogue or a paladin, and just, you know, went through the motions when it comes to the game. I'm gonna try something completely different. I'm actually gonna try a horde side, I'm gonna try a priest, and actually have someone that's gonna tank for me. So we're gonna try to basically do some dungeon leveling and things like that in WoW Classic, but that'll probably be a pretty big time spender. I think the biggest challenge there is going to be to combine WoW Classic with EVE Online. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. We'll see when we get there, but I'm also pretty excited for that launch. We'll see how that goes. And that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.